Hello, are you all ready?
Yeah!
Yeah.
The two men I killed were practically within arm's reach. I could see their facial expressions clearly, even hear their breathing. And the funny thing was, I didn't feel a thing. As for me, I had only turned 19 and only 2 days previous, and I still suffered from the naive upbringing of a good Christian family. I lost a lot of that upbringing. There was no honor here, no virtue. The standards of behavior taught at churches in America had no place in battle. There were mythical concepts good only for raising children, to be cast aside forever from this moment on. I didn't feel guilt, shame, or remorse at all for killing my fellow man. I felt pride. Alan Stuart Smith, from David Grossman's book on killing, the psychological cost of learning to kill in warfare and society. I've served in the military for almost 4 years, and not once have I heard one sermon or article or even intelligent conversation about killing as a Christian. There should be a standard for killing as a Christian. Today I would like to show you that. Just war is an established Christian concept. There is a dearth of information on just killing, and seemingly none from a Christian perspective. There are Christians whose profession involves killing and convince you of the benefit of such a standard. Just war is an established Christian concept. Both St. Augustine and both Augustine and Aquinas have wrote on the subject of situations where war is justified. They're accepted by both Roman Catholics and Protestants. There was absolutely no questioning of myself by the church when I joined the Marine Corps, and there has been none since. And just war is part of the title of over 100,000 books. Now, there is a felt lack of study in the realm of legitimate killing. David Grossman attempts to address this in his book on killing, but it is considered most to be a very flawed book. But given the subject, it is considered the definitive book on the subject. In all the research I have done, and all the research my psychologist friend has done, we could not find one source that approached the subject of killing apart from murder from a Christian perspective. And this was a telephone interview with Patrick Tripp on May 6, 2011. There are Christians whose profession involves killing. This obviously in the military and those connected to that, in law enforcement, even self-defense or the defense of another, which is considered legal in both the church, state, and federal governments. Many doctors are faced with removing life support, and there's always the job of an executioner. We justify the idea of Christians killing, but offer no guidance or accountability as to how to kill. Guilt and aggression of the opposing party is often irrelevant in warfare, and even consent is, as most wars are fought by children. The Bible is filled with godly characters who have killed with God's blessing. A study of these characters and what they've done would be appropriate. There are rituals in the Bible for touching a dead body. Native Americans would ask forgiveness for their prey. Even our early American ancestors approached animal slaughter with a certain degree of reverence. Rituals can give a thoughtfulness to something that may otherwise be done without thinking. Matthew 5, verse 22, Jesus states that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister is subject to judgment, i.e. hate is akin to murder. So the process through which we desensitize ourselves can spiritually be the difference potentially between murder and just killing. Joanna Burke, in her An Intimate History of Killing, Face-to-Face Killing in the 20th Century Warfare, has said it was possible for many to become intoxicated by violence for its own sake. Fighting was fun. Combatants frequently dared to admit orgasmic joy in unrestrained slaughter. Grossman teaches in his book that killing outside of blind rage is a mental process of desensitization. If we as Christians are not involved in this process, then we are learning to kill from the perspective of man, not Christ. And that process usually involves hate or dehumanization of the enemy. We have learned that there is a community of killers in the church. Yet despite that, there is no standard or guide to killing. So I challenge you to consider a biblical way to go about killing. Consider this when interacting with Christians who have been called to kill. How can we send our youth, like Alan here, into killing without addressing the issue biblically? Our naivety is only